My name is Julie. I'm currently 20 years old, and I wanted to share a story with you of how I've become the most emotionally and mentally stable I've ever been in my life, and also got out of a rut. In this video, I'll be sharing with you why I wanted to get my life together, exactly how I did it, and when would be the best time for you to start making changes in your life. Let's begin.
We're just like reminiscing on like.
But before we get into this video, I wanted to say this video is sponsored by Grammarly. I've been using Grammarly for 7 years, and I also worked with them previously. I love them, I use them all the time, and because it is back to school season for a lot of people, which I know can be very overwhelming, I wanted to recommend Grammarly for you to feel more confident in the assignments that you turn in and also improve your grades. Grammarly is a very useful digital learning assistant that helps you achieve your academic and professional goals. It is always there to support you in every stage and every step of the way. Grammarly has a free version which offers grammar, spelling, and punctuation suggestions. The premium version offers something like the Clarity full sentence rewrites, which helps you to rephrase your harder to read sentences and keep your writing very clear. So for me, I had to be juggling between school and YouTube. I have to cater my language to serve different audiences. This is when this feature came in really handy for me. Grammarly is free to download, and it is very easy to use and integrate into your daily life, and I really recommend you to download Grammarly now during back to school season so that you have this tool all year long. Succeed in school by improving your grades with the help of Grammarly. And it's free, so why not? You can go to grammarly.com/juliecho to sign up for a free account, and if you'd like to get those extra features that I mentioned, you can upgrade to Grammarly Premium for 20% off to help you write your future. And back to the video. Just to give you a quick update, I got an offer today, this morning, for a marketing role at my dream company.
9 to 5인 줄 알았는데 9 to 6라네요.
So I'm very excited for this new chapter in my life to develop my career. And that being said, let's begin by discussing the effects of a new start. So Katie Milkman says, quote, "We tend to be extremely optimistic about our capacity to change during moments of our lives that feel like fresh starts or new beginnings." So September usually indicates a new start or a new beginning for a lot of people because it overlaps with the start of a new semester at school. People are going back to work. It's the start of a new season, etc. So we can use these fresh starts to give ourselves that initial source of motivation, and I will be sharing with you how we can take that to make actual meaningful changes in our lives. Working out 5 times a week, working on your career development, reading 30 minutes a day. Well, before I tried taking this initiative, I was very burnt out, overwhelmed, and stressed. I honestly wanted to give up at every turning point, but I did not. First, let's discuss why exactly we're doing this. Why are you investing so much time, energy, and emotions into this whole project of, self-development? I wanted to make my life more memorable. This is an excerpt from a journal entry that I wrote a couple months ago. No one truly knows what they're doing. No amount of years lived, no amount of wisdom or experience could guide us to that answer. There is no answer, but I think life is worth living if you were put into this earth. Life does become more meaningful if you can help others and make a positive contribution, no matter how big or small. Life can go by very quickly. It can sometimes feel like we're in a race to finish school, make money. Being intentional about what you want to focus on, what kind of challenges you want to give to yourself, trying something new, adding new positive experiences into your life will not only make your life more memorable, but also serve as a learning opportunity for you to grow as an individual. Reason number 2 is for myself, for more self-discipline, for my own good, because I am precious. Because if I don't value myself, who else will? It is not just for self-serving reasons, but I think that if I am the best version of myself, I can be an even better contribution to the people around me. I think it's easy to think that we as individuals make a negligible contribution in our society and our world, but that is only if that is from the perspective of the entire universe. Of course, there's there's so many people in this world. We're all living our own lives. We all have different futures and paths, but we have to think from the perspective of I. We don't have to save the entire planet from global warming, but we can reduce the use of plastic in our daily lives or eat meat-free more often, because it's a lot less overwhelming to think about what we can do in our world rather than from the perspective of the entire universe. I hope you learn to value yourself more, value the people around you more, and use that as motivation to grow and improve and just become the best version of yourself. All right, so now how am I doing this? So first, I would identify my current habits and also the categories that are relevant to me. This requires brutal honesty and critical self-reflection. So this is an example from one of my older journal entries. The emotion of feeling bored and uninspired would tempt me to action, escape through the means of impulsive behavior. But I wanted to change this toxic pattern, and I created a goal for myself to live more consciously by subtracting social media from my life, going on more walks, reading more, identifying these very specific triggers and patterns and habits that you have helps you create a more personal solution that is more relevant to you. I also had another problem of blurring lines between life and work. I created a solution for myself to separate my physical environments for work and rest. And second step is identifying what you are good at and what you want, and make sure that these things are what you truly want, and not things that are just internalized by your parents or society or whatever source of external pressure that is not relevant to you. And third thing is what you want to achieve in the short term and long term. So for example, I wanted to go to law school last year. This was literally 1 year ago, 12 months ago. But upon careful self-reflection, I realized that is not really what I want. So I asked myself, what gives me value and fulfillment? And what excites me, you know? So after identifying all these things, the next step would be figuring out what things you want to add or subtract from your life, and also how you can make small sustainable changes towards that goal. So an example of adding something in my life would be reading more books. Reading at least 1 or 2 books a month. An example of subtraction would be reducing social media time, and then figuring out how we can make sustainable changes. So we're not in a rush here. We can fail. This is about comparing your present self to your past self or your future self. This is about you, and we are not comparing ourselves to anyone else. We're not feeling imposter syndrome anymore. We're all about being sustainable, being patient with ourselves and patient with our growth. We're not chased by time. We have our entire lives to prove ourselves, to redeem ourselves from the mistakes that we made. I think your whole life is about making mistakes and learning from them. And I don't think you can learn at all from just never failing. I think the past month, I've submitted my resume to, I think maybe 10 companies. I think I interviewed with 3 or 4 companies. I got rejected from all of them except for the one that I really wanted. You know, we could focus on the rejections and ruminate on why they didn't take us, but no, we are learning from those experiences. My first interview went really badly because I did not prepare enough. I embarrassed myself and I learned from it, and for the next interviews, I prepared very well. And for the next interview, I got nervous. I wasn't able to articulate myself very well. So we learned from that too. The last interview I did with Edelman was the one that got me in. If I didn't have all of those bad interview experiences, I wouldn't have gotten this one either. We are not here doing negative self-talk. We are all about being nice to ourselves, taking care of ourselves, and just being kind to everyone, including ourselves. Next step, consume meaningful content. There's a quote, "You are the books, films, and music," yes, music, that you consume. Consuming meaningful content can teach you, can inspire you. And there's so much content these days. There's so many distractions already at your disposal, and we are here to fight that and identify the meaningful content that will feed us, not take away from us. I like listening to TED Talks, being more intentional with the music that I listen to, and with my social media usage. It's so much better for my mental well-being and mental clarity, and also surrounding yourself with very supportive and loving, inspiring people. And this brings us to the last thing, which is journaling, to empty your mind and to have more mental clarity. So if you're the type of person who loses things a lot or forgets things a lot, you should be writing a lot. Journaling is to remind yourself of your values, reorganize your thoughts, solidify your core, and filter through your thoughts to identify what is meaningful and what are distractions. So it is very important to conserve your energy and your attention and bring that back to yourself and invest it back into yourself. So I am all about self-love, self-care, self-motivation. So next, I wanted to share some goals that I have with you to maybe, I don't know, serve as inspiration just to share with you. Okay, for finances, I would be saving up for a trip. I am more about spending my money on experiences rather than material goods. Another goal that I have would be saving 50% of my income every single month. Personal goals that I have would be living more consciously, reading more, less phone time, going on more walks, having more immersive experiences, and practicing more gratitude. I also have something like trying to get my driver's license this year. And for relationships, it would be being less emotionally reactive and doing more check-ins intentionally with more empathy and compassion on the people that I love, and just being more present. So I have goals for my social media, health, personal goals, career, school, the list goes on. With the example of my career goals of getting a role during this gap semester, that process included doing research on what kind of companies that I would want to work for, how to write a resume for the marketing industry, a lot of interview prep, and also getting my certificates. Every short-term goal should be aligned with a long-term goal that you have identified for yourself. So through this video, I wanted to provide some positive motivation, comfort, and encouragement for everyone to try something new, to value yourself more, and become better versions of yourselves in a sustainable and healthy, self-loving manner. I will also be holding myself accountable to these goals that I have shared with you, and I also hope that we can grow together. I genuinely wish everyone the best, and thank you so much for watching this video. Let's get better together. Love you, and I will see you soon in my next video.